Welcome to Seeing Beyond, Living Transformed, a space to connect with spiritual insights, open-minded perspective, and healing transformation. Hosts Kelley Eckhart and Cheryl Murphy are working evidential psychic mediums, spiritual teachers, and published authors who are coming together in friendship and teamwork to serve through the energy of spirit, healing, and animal communication. Each week, we invite you to join in a mixture of candid discussions, visits from guests and experts, intuitive development, and live readings to encourage everyone while exploring their multifaceted spiritual path. Come ready with questions and curiosities. And now, here are your hosts, Cheryl Murphy and Kelley Eckhart.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's show. Welcome to a very special program. Not only do we have a wonderful topic that we're going to be talking about today, but we have a lovely co-host with us. We have the lovely Lori Albert, an amazing spiritual medium, an empowerment coach, a manifesting author, podcast host herself. Thank you, Lori, for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. I always love being here. You're so gracious and you're so nice to me. So
it's just great. I know our audience loves you every time you're on, Lori. It's like, hey, bring that girl back on, to read some cards or talk to us because you're so funny, Lori, and I think you make mediumship fun to learn for people. You talk about spirit as if we can all connect in an easy way where it's not difficult. And I appreciate that about you.
Yeah. I do that on purpose, actually, because I noticed right when I first started getting into all this, I noticed that everybody had to be like, mediumship was very solemn, which it can be. I mean, I'm not taking away, the solemnity, I think is the word of it or whatever. But I thought the spirits my spirit guides and the spirits that come through are kind of fun sometimes. So I try to add that element of, fun to mediumship.
Well, that's really, I think, how spirit would like us to, treat them too, that, to be light about all of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we get on with our show today, we'll be saying hello to our audience members. We'll be doing some readings later on in the show, but really let me get right to our topic. I think it's one of our more popular topics to talk about. I know Lori and I and Kelley Eckhart, who is not with us today, but here in spirit, we all ask this question so much about karma and free will and, is your life guided or is it destined? And so I'd like to take a moment right now, ask our audience members, do you guys believe in karma, right? First, we need to talk about what is karma, Lori, and I'm going to ask you that because you are a master meditation teacher, and I know you've studied this topic. So can you share with us, Lori, what is karma?
Well, I first have to say that I think that a lot of people that don't understand the actual what karma is, they think it's some sort of punishment kind of thing. I mean, they think that it's like, ooh, if you do something bad's going to happen to you kind of thing. And it's not that way. It's just basically an action and then the effects of the action, Now that could be good or that could be bad. So whenever we do something, if we tell a lie, like a big, bold lie, it's probably going to come back to haunt you a little bit, So that's what I always like to say that way, if that makes any sense. And then, of course, free will is the humanness of, the choosing to tell the lie. So if that makes any sense. Hi,
well said, because so in other words, if I can take it in addition to what you're saying, what goes around comes around, right?
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
you put out, you get back.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I feel like that, in a sense. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I'm going to do my analogy.
Good.
Are you ready for this weird sort of analogy?
Okay. All right.
So,
I'm ready. We're ready.
All right. So imagine that you're driving a car. Okay. So karma is the road that you're on, that you're traveling on. Okay. Your personal habits, okay, are the cruise control, basically. Okay. Your soul is the GPS to it. Okay. And then spirit then is that little tiny voice in your head that says, okay, oh, make a right turn here, kind of thing. Okay. But then free will is whether you actually do make that turn or not make that turn. So I know that's kind of a quirky, weird sort of analogy, but I think it brings in all of the aspects to spirituality.
I love car analogies, by the way, because I love everything about cars and driving and all of that. So I'm loving it. So and I've used it before too to talk about cars and connecting with spirit and our soul and spirit. So I'm loving how you're saying that karma is the road that you're driving. So karma's there. It's kind of what we do with it, right?
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
our choice.
Yeah, that's our choice. And then I use another weird sort of analogy for free will because, and this is okay. So this goes into sort of offbeat a little bit, but I really hesitate doing psychic readings. I don't know. Have you and I ever talked? I don't know that you and I have ever really talked about this, but I really kind of hesitate to do psychic readings because I could tell you based on your energy, oh my gosh, you know what? I'm seeing you stubbing your toe tomorrow, and yeah, it's going to hurt. And I'm really sorry about that, but that's what I'm seeing. So the free will part of that comes in. Well, like who wants to stub their toe and have it be painful all day? So the free will comes in to this, then, I'm just going to wear shoes all day long. And
Makes
then
sense.
two things happen there, right? You don't stub your toe, you're not hurting, right? And then the psychic is wrong. Okay. So that kind of brings me into another, sorry about this, but it kind of brings me into another part of what psychic is. I mean, things can change just because we see it in one thing. I see you stubbing your toe, the free will then allows you to put the shoes on. And then because of that, you did not stub your toe. So does that make sense?
It does make sense. And let me take it, let me add to that by saying not only if we had stubbed our toe, let's just say the person, how do you respond? Do you respond in anger?
Yeah.
Do you respond in compassion to yourself? Do you
Yes.
take action and call something about the sidewalk is unlevel and call the, do you take care of yourself or do you just yell at the next person you see, And that could be karma too, right?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. And then that becomes the karma of it. It's all so intertwined, I love that. I love
it. So let's say hi to some of our audience members before we get more into this topic, because I do feel this is a deep topic for our show. Welcome everyone. As you're coming on, please say hi to Lori Albert. You can always reach Lori at lorialbert.com. She is a beautiful manifesting author. What is the name of your book again, Lori? Manifesting for Beginners. Is that right?
Manifestation Journal for Beginners.
Journal. Thank you. Manifestation Journal for Beginners. So check that out. I know it's on Amazon. Also, Lori is on amazing platforms that she'll be sharing with us and about her work and how to connect with her. But let's just say hi to some audiences members, Lori. We have Tasha.
Hi, Tasha.
Yeah, I know. We have another Lori. Hi, Lori.
Hi, Lori.
And Nancy on the screen is saying, that's exactly what I tell the person I'm reading for. Energy now, but you have free will to turn left or right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. And so whenever, to get a little bit deeper on that, it's like, I worry about telling people stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I will always give whatever spirit tells me, I give. Okay. So I
Mhm.
just want to say that it's not
Mhm.
like, it's not like I withhold anything, but I always just, don't want people to sort of, get the wrong idea that it's the definite path that they're
Mhm.
going down, you know. Just today, I actually heard from somebody, a client of mine, that she was like, "Oh man, I have this job, and it felt really good at the time, like a job opportunity, and it felt really good at the time." Hi, Frank. It felt really good at the time whenever I was doing it, but then it turned into something different.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, yeah, I love what Jose just said. It's like psychic is a forecast of what could happen if you keep doing the same things. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
So,
And Jim on Instagram, who joined us, hi, Jim. Thanks for joining us today, mentions a power of suggestion, which I think is interesting too.
yeah.
You know,
I feel like I'm doing all the talking, so you go on that
no,
one.
no, 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 no. You're our guest, and we want I want our listeners to know you and to
Aw,
love you as much as Kelly and I do, Lori.
you're
It's
so
amazing
nice.
how much you help the community, and you're such a big part of our lives.
Yeah.
But also, the power. This is a very good topic. This is about free will versus karma. We want to know your thoughts. Please let us know. Type in the comments section. Jim mentioned power of suggestion. Yep, it could be the power of suggestion. It could be. It's
Mhm.
really. I think it's a case by case basis. But I
Yeah.
guess what I'm going to ask back is, so do you ever, Lori, let me ask you this. Do you ever look at the bigger picture of things, like when things don't work out for you? Or do you think it was a missed opportunity, or do you think it was meant to be? Right? Like, so if something,
Mhm.
do you try to, I always feel like that's what we should do, is just look at the bigger picture.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. And I can tell a story close to my own heart in that, the last couple of years I've had some, health stuff going on, nothing big and dramatic, but stuff. And I had the opportunity to do a few different things over the past couple of years, like things that would sort of get my name out there, blah, 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 and stuff I was really excited to do. And all of a sudden, all these things seem to like go away. Not that anything was bad. It just things didn't go away. And then, sure enough, I had I have a couple autoimmune diseases, right? And I had a couple of flare ups right at the time. So I was really, bottom line is, I was really disappointed that these things did not work out. Okay. And, human Lori was like, well, that's so rude. Why are you, I was yelling at my spirit guides, like, why are you doing this to me? Oh my God, whatever. But then once I realized that there
Wow.
had been some other things going on that, health stuff
Mhm,
would
mhm.
have prevented me from doing it. So
So
then I
it's
was
as
like,
if, yeah, spirit opened your schedule up, right?
yeah, yeah.
Because they knew something was behind the scenes
Yeah. And I
happening
think
for you.
sometimes when we get disappointed on whatever it looks like, whatever that situation is, sometimes we have to just realize that maybe this is in the grand scheme,
Mhm, mhm.
And I'm curious as to what you think about I forget what we call it though, the points. Like, do you think that there are points that we have to hit during our lives? Do you know what I mean?
No, but, we can figure it out together, like exit points or
Well, not exit points, but do you think that there are certain sort of
milestones
milestones? Yeah, like spiritual milestones. Well, maybe not
or
spiritual
or
necessarily, but
lessons to learn?
yeah, lessons to learn that are preset before we are born.
Yeah. I just see Kelly joined us on Instagram. So, hey, Kelly.
Hi.
Kelly is here. Hi, Kelly.
Hi,
And we're
Kelly.
talking about free will and karma. So it's great to have Kelly with us today. Let's
Hi.
just say what Jose mentioned. Yeah, Jose says, like a checklist that we set ourselves up before we go to Earth, before we
Yes.
got to Earth.
Yes.
I do believe we can partake, and we do. Hello, guys. We can partake, and we can have a voice, perhaps, and we get to choose, perhaps, or we get to elect lessons we'd like to learn. Right?
Yes.
I mean, just as you know, and many of our listeners know, anytime something comes up that's irritating or pressing, it's as if we have to stop ourselves and say, "Oh yes, one of my lessons is to learn patience, right? Or
Yes.
resilience, or compassion, or I mean, these are big lessons, nothing small here." So, and I
Mhm.
do believe that. So I do believe that we come in with some, you know, excitement or
Pre-think.
anticipation. We don't know how it always plays out, but
Yeah. Yeah.
we are hoping to grow, right? We are hoping to grow to
Yeah.
help realize that we are really part of the whole, part of the universe.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. I mean, because it kind of, I don't know, for me, it kind of takes some of the pressure off,
Yeah.
of like the fact that because in my example of a few minutes ago, I was like taking it all on for me. Like, what's wrong with me? Why did I do
Yes.
this wrong? What's wrong? And then all of a sudden I realized that, oh, hold on, wait, stop, kind of thing. Maybe this was part of a lesson I needed to learn. Maybe this is me learning the patience or learning to be just courageous in the face of whatever, or, whatever that is. So
Yeah.
you never know where it's going to go,
You never
and
know.
that's
Like,
the fun part.
if I could share a story about this free will, and well, I always share this story about I was going for my master's at San Diego State University and
So
teaching,
cool.
and it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be. I
Mhm.
was hitting a
Mhm.
wall. Like, I was enrolled in college, but I had, trying to work and my living, like things were working, Lori, but it was feeling blah, or it
Mm.
wasn't working the way I wanted it to. And then when I would push, I would get things put back. It was like became more resistant. How's that? It's like when
Yeah.
you try to make things happen, it becomes more resistant. And I just wasn't comfortable. And as soon as I surrendered, right? We have to
Yeah.
surrender to the universe.
Yeah.
So I left San Diego. I went back to Colorado. I got the job, the living, the place, the housing, all like within the first couple of days. It just comes before you when you step back and release and say, Spirit has something else they want to show me right now.
Yeah. I mean, because we can go, I mean, we could, in terms of free will, we could just, turn off turn off the road in a different place. We could. But then where would we be, And it's so interesting because I don't know about you, but the older I get, the more I really understand that certain things had to happen to me along the way. Because if like I was a performer back in my 20s, and we did literally, I'm not exaggerating when I say 350 shows every single year. It was a group, whatever, I'm not going to get into it, but it was this group where we did 350 shows a year. So because of that, I'm not scared of talking to, like, I'm not scared of doing shows like this. I'm not scared of talking in public. And had I not done that thing prior to, when I was young, I wouldn't be this comfortable where I am now.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It's a great lesson for
Yeah.
all of us. Like, the things we go through in life really help support us as we
Yeah.
keep moving through life.
Absolutely. And isn't that beautiful?
Mhm,
It's such a
mhm.
beautiful thing to think of, that like all the things that happen in our lives, maybe they're like stepping stones. Maybe they're helping us to get to where we need to go. And I know that that's not incredibly free will-ish, but it's along those lines.
I guess it's up to us if we take that opportunity, or
Yeah.
if we ignore it or hide from it or have fear that
Yeah.
change is coming. Yeah.
Yeah. So true. Oh my gosh. Because you know what I just thought, sorry, I'm like having these aha moments, as live on air, I remember, so I had auditioned for this performing group, and I don't know if you remember the group Up With People. It wasn't Up With People, but it was similar to Up With People. And
Yes.
yeah, it was like that, right? So I had gotten in, and one day I decided I was really scared, right? And so I said to my mom, I said, well, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And she says, oh, absolutely not. You're definitely doing this, blah, 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 But I thought to myself, okay, now granted, that was my mom. I was 17 years old. I was scared to death because I was leaving the house and, the whole thing that, you have to do. And I think back to that, and I think, my free will, had I chosen not to do that, like, where would I be now? I wouldn't have met the same people that I met. I wouldn't have met my husband. I wouldn't have, and then I wouldn't have had my daughter, and then I wouldn't have done blah, 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 all of it.
It's like spirit puts us in these uncomfortable situations sometimes to redirect or to,
Yeah.
like you said, that's GPS to change and navigate that course to
Yeah.
help our souls grow, right? And
Yeah.
maybe
Is
the
that
word you were looking
amazing?
for earlier is soul's contract or
Oh, sure. Yeah.
and also karma. Let's ask the audience. I'd love to know what our listeners think about, can karma be changed? Do you think you can change your karma? And I'm wondering, Lori, with your meditation studies and your practice, do you believe we can change our karma?
Well, to me, okay, this is just me. Everybody's allowed to, you have free will. You can think what you want, right? As far as karma goes, I really feel like that some of it is ancestral. It's like, it's my grandmother and her grandmother and her, all of that, my mother and her mother's mother, all of that. I think that things can happen, and I think that karma can be passed down, okay, in certain circumstances, right? However, I believe that we can change that. We have the ability to change how we sort of maneuver through our lives, and if we want to shift how a certain circumstance in our lives, that would change our karma, this is going to sound ridiculous, but like, let's just say in a past life, or forget the past life for now, but like if, actually, you know what, I'm going to give a little bit easier of an example. My one side of my family are very loud. Okay. I'm a very loud person, right?
You do not seem like a loud person.
Oh, please. Oh my God. I am so loud. We used to call ourselves the loud family, right? So my mother was loud. Well, I'm loud. My mother was loud. My grandfather was loud. I mean, it was back in, generational. And you're saying that you don't seem very loud. I feel like I'm very loud, but I've learned how to curtail that. And, I feel like that my daughter, she can be loud, but she's not necessarily.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I don't even know if I described that quite right.
That it's passed down, and it's like you mentioned, some things are genetic or inherited or ancestral lineage, and that are passed down, behaviors, cultures, DNA, for example, that can be passed down, beliefs. And that can all add up to the karma that's good or bad. There's good karma,
right. I was going to use an example about if somebody killed somebody. I was going to use that, but I thought, let's not go there.
That's okay. Can you read what Kay DeSalle, Kay Leslie?
Karma belongs to only the individual. There is good, bad, or neutral karma. Sure. Intent of thoughts, speech, and actions are what creates the positive and negative karma. Sure, of course. Absolutely. That's beautifully said.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautifully said.
Yeah.
you
And
know?
can we read April's also? April is saying maybe making amends and apologies when we wrong people can change some of our karma too.
Yes.
I think so, in a big
Yes.
way, maybe
Yeah.
even more than we realize.
Yeah. Just the act of saying I'm sorry to somebody
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
change everything.
Yeah. I'm loving this conversation. And then Jose, to add to it, Jose mentioned, then there's the saying of what's meant for you will always find you. I do believe that
Mm.
too. I do believe that too. That is the karma that's looking for us. And
Yeah.
as somebody beautifully said, April, compassion, forgiveness, that's reaching for the highest karma, the highest good, the highest lesson. I think making different choices changes can change karma. I do believe that we can learn lessons in this lifetime that will help us, right? And
Yeah.
heal, right? Heal the karma, help us create more or better karma or
Yeah.
uh, but once again, for me, when anytime things are not working out for me in my life, I have to really step back, Lori, and look at the bigger picture. And I'm just wondering if
Gosh.
that happens for you. I was living in Italy myself for a while, and I came back, and I ended up going to live with my father, who was not doing well at the time. Is one of the
Mhm.
reasons why I made the move back, and I love that I did, because as I
Mhm.
kept allowing what to even though it wasn't planned, I kept allowing it to unfold for me, and I realized that that was, the last years of my life with him, of his
Yeah.
life here on the planet. So
Yeah.
it's like you never know the silver lining or the gifts of why our lives change or why we get redirected. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, but if we can just kind of keep those open mind and open heart of we
Yeah.
are being guided or we are given an opportunity, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm wondering? How much of this it like sort of veers into like integrity and
Mhm.
honesty, and which are all high vibrational. And I get that those are like, but how much of that veers into that? Like it all, so like negative karma could be, negative, emotions, jealousy and all of that kind of stuff, or anger, sadness, all of that stuff. But then when we think of, the positive things like the honor and the integrity, that creates the more positive karma.
It's like it creates the higher vibration,
Yeah.
it's like we're
Yeah.
all doing the best we can,
Yeah.
but we do understand that, we're always asking for the highest good to come into our lives, but we also have to practice the high road. We also have to practice doing the right thing, even when it's not easy.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jose. Jose says, I believe what Lori was saying earlier was because sometimes my brain doesn't, it thinks faster than I'm speaking. So I appreciate you saying this. When we don't heal our traumas, for example, we tend to pass that on to our kids, and our kids pass that on to the grandkids, if they don't break the pattern or cycle of the traumas. Thank you for saying that so perfectly.
Yeah, yeah. Pattern, that's
That's
good.
exactly, yes. Thank you, Jose.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is such a great topic, and there's you could see a lot of participation from our listeners. I mean, I would love to ask everyone, like, have you ever changed one decision in your life that just completely altered everything for the good, for the positive, I guess? I'd love to ask our listeners that. And I guess that was for me when I, came back from Italy, went to go be with my father, realizing, wow, what an opportunity that I was being redirected or guided.
Yeah.
So what a great topic for today.
Yeah, so beautiful. And how amazing that you got to spend that time with your dad then.
Yeah, it was
I
really
mean,
amazing. And he never would have asked for help. That was the thing is,
mm,
the pride, they don't really, my father at least, very hard to ask for help. We'll just say that. So it
yeah.
was
Well,
really,
and that's partially I'm wondering, and I want to get to breath of fresh air's comment in a second, but that also comes into play with intuition as well.
mhm,
Your intuition came
mhm.
into play there. seems
Yeah,
like.
truly. It did feel, you know what? That's exactly right, Lori, because I had a knowing at that time that I knew that's what would happen as soon as I spoke to my dad, and he didn't sound quite right, you know?
Hmm.
It's like, "Something's up here," because my dad would never say, not you know, "He's not feeling well," but when he
Yeah.
did that one time, and I was so far away in another country, I knew that that's when you come back to the States. I had a knowing that's just where I was gonna go. I was heading towards living somewhere else, and I'm like, "No, this is my plan now, right?" So I'm
Yeah.
stepping in. This is where I know I it's like you know you need to be there, like there nothing else matters.
Yes.
You become very focused,
Hmm.
in your purpose in life, you know, and,
Yes.
you really, create a clearer lens to look out of, we'll just say.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? And not to, not to sound like you're the, I don't, okay, I'm not even gonna, you actually upped your vibration because
Mhm.
of what you did,
Yeah.
is really what I want to say there. And I
Mhm.
think that when we stay in those higher vibrations, and I think that when we do the things, that keeps our karma in a positive way.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't
it's
know if I
like the
said that
part
correctly.
of me yeah, the part of me had or I had the knowing that that's where I was it's almost like, that was a purpose, you know, and maybe that was a karmic thing too, but that was a purpose
Mhm.
that I was going to do in my life, like, no
Yeah,
questions asked. You couldn't have convinced me to do anything else at that time, so
yeah.
it was
And
beautiful.
also too, I think it was April that just said that she became sober 13 years ago,
Oh,
and everything changed for the better. And
wow,
yeah, but let me just throw this out to you, April.
please.
What if, God, I love what ifs because it just opens up a huge world of possibility, right? What if, April, you had to go, and I'm not discounting how hard it was for you when you were not sober, okay? I'm just saying a what if, right? What if you had to go through that,
Mhm.
the not being sober, in order to maybe help somebody else after you got sober? Because then what if that person is sober right now and helps save somebody's life? Do you know what I'm saying? Like it keeps going, it keeps
Yeah.
paying itself forward, in a sense like that, in an example like that. So
I
April.
need to take a breath on that one. That was really good. Let me just breathe. Take a breath. That was a very well said, Lori. Very well said. Couldn't have
Yeah.
said that better.
And
So sometimes just to share with people, look, when we're feeling stuck, you know, what do people do? They're like, oh my God, I feel stuck. I feel like I'm repeating the same pattern, or I feel like I'm not doing anything, or what's happening, or why isn't anything happening?
yeah.
I just want to say, look, sometimes life is changing for us, right? Life happens for us, and it's not always so clear. Uh,
Mhm.
but that's when we hold the light for ourselves.
Yeah.
We try to be kind with thoughts for ourselves because life is changing. You're definitely going through a transformative time when this happens.
Mhm. Mhm. And I gotta say, not that meditation is the be all end all of everything, but oh my goodness, if you're ever feeling like you might be stuck or you're not sure like what to do or whatever, meditation is can change everything. Everything. It changes your perspective. It
Mhm.
changes, I mean, it truly, to me, it changed everything for me, and I've seen it change for other people too, change things for other people, you know. So
Um,
just want to throw that out
there's
there.
so much I can just I so much going through from questions I have for you, Lori. Two things is number one, would you please give us one or two pointers on how to meditate or maybe how to begin? Just a couple of pointers. I mean, maybe remind us because I know we would. I mean, it's such a beautiful thing to create more health in our lives, you know. So,
Yeah.
how do you how do you practice your
Well, the first thing is, and I say this to so many people on almost a daily basis. There are no rules to meditation. My biggest thing that I really, and I don't want to say I hate hearing it, but it hurts my heart when I hear somebody say, I've tried to meditate and it just doesn't work for me. Well, you don't want it to work for you then. I don't mean to sound rude or like in everybody's face, but if you say that it doesn't work for you, then you don't want it to work for you. Okay, so that's number one. But number two is there are no rules of meditation. There's things that you can do, but there's lots of different ways to make it work for you, to make it be like everything for you. For me, I'm a huge music person, as a lot of you know. I'm a huge music person. However, I sit and I listen to sort of ethereal music, or I listen to beats. For me, if I listen to something that's melodic, I'll start singing along with it. Do you know what I mean? I'll start.
Yeah.
So for me, I like having that music in the back. However, David G will tell you sitting in silence and stillness is the be all end all of everything. And if you can do that, that's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me.
What I felt just now, Lori, was when you said it's not working for you, I felt like you gave me permission to say, hell yeah, that's not working for me. I need something else. Like you just gave me permission as a meditator to look elsewhere. And you're mentioning try guided meditations, try
Absolutely.
music.
Or, I'm not the hugest fan of walking meditations, but just getting yourself out in without your phone, right? Without your phone, walking in nature, just taking a walk down the street.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a form of meditation, or sitting in the grass in your, like looking at, I'm making this up, but like, okay, so I have one of my cards, right? Just staring at the picture on the card and contemplating everything that's in the card.
I love
that. Could be a form of meditation too.
I love it. Like looking at beautiful artwork,
yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Now, for me, the way I prefer to meditate is I love finding, for me, it's a mantra.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I will try doing different mantras, but it always ends up, and it's going to sound strange when I say this, but what'll happen a lot of times is I'll start off saying, so hum. Or Om Mani Padme Hum. I'll start out with this great, Sanskrit or mantra or something. And then all of a sudden, halfway through the meditation, it'll kind of morph itself into simply thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I sit there and I just say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Like I just say it to myself over and over and over and over again. And that to me brings me, so you have to find, the bottom line is you have to find what works for you.
Find what works for you and change it too, and change it up if you want. I agree with you. I listen to chanting sometimes. Sometimes I listen to the quietness. Sometimes I go outside and listen to the wind. I let nature speak to me.
Chanting is amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, chanting just can shift everything.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Also, we mentioned a breath of fresh air. 6, thank you for being with us on the show today, is saying, yes, I do all kinds of different meditations. Mm-hmm. Cooking is also a form of meditation, which we have to agree with you 1,000%.
Yes.
Right, Lori?
Mm-hmm.
Cooking
Absolutely.
is beautiful way to celebrate.
It's really what meditation really is. It's a matter of being present in this moment, the right here, right now.
Uh-huh.
And what a great day to be talking about this. Last night was the full moon.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful, by the way. And if you guys haven't seen it, go out tonight. It's a beautiful full moon, right? And then today, right? So we had the full moon yesterday. I know that Mercury's in retrograde, but sometimes I have the best luck during those times. So I'm open to that.
Yeah.
So my second point before we kind of wrap up here, because I do know we want to do a reading or two, but I would love it if you would pull a card for us, Lori.
Absolutely.
But let me just remind people who are joining us that Lori Albert has a website, lorialbert.com. She'll be telling us how to connect with her. And she's really, I want to say kudos before you pull that card, Lori. You did a great article. You were featured in the Voyager magazine, right?
Voyage LA.
Voyage LA.
Yeah. And there's the link for the article right there. That article just brought out, it was like it taught me stuff about myself. You know, I'm 61. My whole life, I feel like that I have been, in a certain sense, dimming my own light. Oh, I'm going to get emotional. Dimming my own light in order to make others feel more comfortable, blah, blah, blah. And I got to tell you, I'm not doing that as much anymore. And I'm working really hard to just do what I need to do in my own life. You know what I mean? For spirit. Because for me, it's all about what spirit has for me, you know? Yeah. And so very interesting. So thank you for,
I mean, when I read the article, Lori, I thought, God, that is just so Lori, and meaning like how honest your answers were about spirit and what you've learned. And I've known you for several years now, and, you know, we've grown together as mediums, and with the practice and work we've done together, we've done demonstrations together. We do demonstrations together. We have one coming up later here in the fall in September. But for everyone watching our show right now, check out the stream link below. It says, check out Lori's Voyage LA article. Please read that. It's such a lovely article. It does have her contact information in it, but it talks about spirit. And that's really, I mean, it gets right to the heart of it, Lori. So thank you for teaching all of us.
Oh, absolutely. And I do, just FYI, I just remembered, I'm not very good at self-promotion. I always forget to tell people stuff, you know, but I do live meditations every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So if anybody ever is interested in that, it's, well, thank you, Andrew, my new best friend, said I look like I'm in my 40s.
Yes.
But I do live meditations on my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Lori Albert. It's very easy. And yeah, so
hey, we're open to meditation. I mean, here we are, everyone. Meditation Wednesday mornings, 10 a.m. Pacific time.
Yes.
On Patreon, Patreon, patreon.com for Lori Albert. Yes. How lovely. Well, look, if you pull a card for us today, Lori, what do we need to focus on something? Can this card be for all of us that are here with you now? And
this is going to be for all of us. And it's so, first of all, it's so perfect. Like, you know, and I know I get myself, I've been doing this. How long have I been doing it? Like 20 years, something like that. I still get excited when I pull a card and it makes sense. Right?
Love it.
So let me just throw this. I pulled this card. It's the dolphin card.
Dolphin.
Right? First of all, I love my dolphins.
We love dolphins.
And it says happiness, positivity, success, and fun.
Well, that's
and
perfect.
What I love about this is, first of all, the full moon, right? It's about, like, let's just move forward out of all the junk in our heads and get rid of that which does not serve us anymore and move on to something great, right? So that's part of it. The second thing is that, you know, with Mercury being in retrograde, and some of you know this, but I have 3 words that I always say when Mercury's retrograde. Some people don't get affected by the energy of this at all, of Mercury. I do. I happen to. Okay. And many years ago, I came up with these 3 words: patience, obviously, right? Positivity and persistence, the 3 P's, persistence. That's the key. I mean, for me, all 3 of those are so super important, you know, because when there's communication issues, when there's travel issues, when there's electronic issues, as so many people, you know, this is what happens. when Mercury's retrograde, right? So
Yeah.
I always do the 3 Ps. And of course, positivity is on here. Okay.
Come on.
So basically, what I feel like that the message for all of us is that when we allow, and it's perfectly with our subject today, when we stay in that high vibration, that vibration of positivity,
Mm-hmm.
when we stay up there as much as we possibly can, we're inviting in other positive things in our lives. It's kind of like manifestation, okay? But it's called karma, you know? So when we sit in that space of positivity, that's what we're going to get back. So that's what it all kind of works out. So I love this card for us today. So, and have fun.
I love it too. And look, we always have to give credit to the cards that you're holding. Like, what deck do you have with you today?
Oh,
What are we looking at here with the
well,
cards?
this
In case
deck
anyone
is
wants to-
Lunar Magic. It's called Lunar Magic. My
Lunar
daughter
Magic.
bought it for me for my birthday. Yay. And
Happy
then
birthday.
I also use another new deck, The Mystical Garden by Denise Lynn.
Oh,
So this isn't a card from, well, it is a card from it, but oh my God. Again, I just have to say, I'm all over the place. I don't know why I'm all over the place. I've had caffeine today. This is my new favorite card from all of my decks. Look at this card. First of all, it says kindness up at the top. And then at the bottom, it says fairy godmother.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but look how cute she is.
I was attracting my fairy godmother yesterday. I was like,
Okay.
I
So
was
this
calling
would
out
be
to her
then
yesterday. Yeah.
validation.
Foundation.
Validation that they heard you.
Validation.
Validation that
Oh,
you
yes,
were
it's
heard.
validation, definitely. I
love
need to look at that card a little more closely, but yes, I was calling out to my fairy godmother. I think everyone needs a fairy godmother to
absolutely.
bring some sparkle when you need a little bit of it there.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Can we do a reading just for someone who I've been drawn to, Lori? I wanted to,
Yes.
her name is Rose. Because I felt your parents, I'm not sure, here she is. Yes, your mom and dad have passed. Do you have a George, Rose? I want to ask you if you can respond in the comments section. I felt George, and it doesn't have to be in your family, but if that name resonates with you, I just felt this with you, Rose. And I felt your dad more than your mom at the moment. And maybe that's why that masculine name came through. But I do feel that you need to hear this message today. Like, you are on this, gosh, I don't know what to call it, Lori, but you're on a transformative path. You are in search of something. And I do feel there's something there you're holding back, is what your father says. He does feel like he's here. I just heard apologies come through. So I want to know if you can validate that, please, right in the comment section from your father. Like, lovely man, but I do feel apologies coming to you. And mom now is off to the side as she steps forward. I know that she wants to give you a big hug. She feels very soft and lovable and, hands-on, like she would show her affection. So Eugene, your dad. I'll take that for now, but that's very good. But also, you can understand, I heard apologies. Also, mom coming in to kind of always make things right, or to settle the score, as she says. But also, I do want to wish you and see if you can tell me about that support path that you're on. There's something about you seeking a new path that you're holding back on, or you're maybe just a little hesitant. Maybe it's that fear versus love, right? Because we all have to understand, Lori, I know you can share this with everyone, that we either live out of love or fear, right? We're either living out of love or fear. And once you feel fear, or you feel you're living out of fear, the practice would be to stop yourself, right? Or to be aware of it, or to observe it, right? It would be to say, am I living out of love right now, or fear, right? Because it can creep up on you.
Yeah.
It can creep up on you.
Yeah.
So if you can take that, Rose, just let us know in the comments section. Yes, resonates, holding back from starting my animal communication business. Yeah. I think that I don't know if you're holding back or you're reserved now, because I feel animals coming through for you, Rose, saying, oh, we're going to help her out when it's time. Like, we have her. All you have to do is say yes. That's what I'm hearing. Just have her say yes. Once we say yes to the universe, right, Lori? Gosh, doors of opportunity and favor open up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like that. I really want to throw out the word courageous.
Mm.
Yes. Is that even a word? Courageousness to you.
Oh, and here's that's George.
Yeah.
Okay.
Courageousness
Yeah,
to
that's
you.
it's a big thing to open your own business, right?
Yes,
To
it sure
put
is.
yourself out there, as they say. Well,
Yeah.
Lori, would you like to do another card reading, or is there someone you're being drawn to in the audience?
I want to say it was Sarah Jane. I would love a message from my parents, please. I have a lady that feels I just feel very sweet and giggly. And I just feel like that she was who did I say this was? Sarah Jane. I feel like that this lady, I don't know if she's a parent or mother or a grandmother, but Sarah Jane, I this lady is so amazingly sweet. And she came to me whenever I was showing this lady, this fairy godmother lady, right?
Oh,
Not saying that she looked per se exactly like this little fairy godmother lady, but I really kind of feel like that she just wants you to just, I feel like she's with you to help you relax. I feel like, so Sarah Jane, tell me if this makes sense to you in the comments. Like, I feel like that she just wants you to relax and allow yourself to just be, and and just experience the joy of life. So yeah, so I'm just gonna leave you with that. Cheryl, are you getting
thank
anything for
you.
Sarah Jane?
I'm gonna let you have that one with Sarah because I loved your card reading, and I love it when you use your cards to, offer that, in addition to reading from, what
Yeah.
your heart is saying and what your intuition is saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because I didn't know who this was going to be for, but when Sarah Jane said, whenever I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, it's the fairy godmother
It's
card.
right there
That was
for her.
who that was for. So
Good, good, good. Well, thank you. And thank you, Sarah Jane. Let us know in the comments section. And thanks, Rose, for asking more about that. And if I could just share my upcoming events with you guys before we end our show today. I mean, we can still have time to do another reading, or maybe two we can try to get in. But just to share my upcoming events, I do have a lovely small group reading that, Lori, I was just talking to someone today. She was telling me it's her favorite thing to come to my groups. Like, she comes like almost every month, or every time I have one, I'll say.
oh, that's so great.
I know she loves my small group reading. So please join me. It's July 9th. It's called Circle of Love. It's online. Only a small group of people. Everyone gets a reading. That's what's so special about my groups. And it's very intimate, or there's sometimes a theme. So join me for that. And then also this coming Sunday, I believe I'm doing my first Sunday of the month healing prayer circle for everyone. So sign up for my newsletter at mediumcheryl.com, and check out my events page. And same with Lori, lorialbert.com. She has lots of events happening, and really, I mean, what a benefit that has that magazine article out. She has Patreon out, Lori. Anything else you want to say before we go, before we do another reading here? Is there another event happening for you coming up? Or?
Interestingly, I
Yes.
do, because of Patreon, and you can join for free, by the way.
Oh,
I
good.
don't charge to join. I mean, there's a tier where you can donate if you want, of course, yay, but but you don't have to. You can join for free. So that gives you like all of the I send out posts, let's just say, several times a week. I do meditations live on Wednesdays. I do live readings on Thursdays.
Hey,
So,
yeah.
and that's all through Patreon. So yeah. And then I do other lives here and there, different things. So yeah. So I would love you all. That's kind of my focus right now, because we are creating this like really neat, God, that makes me sound old, doesn't it? But this really neat, this really groovy, let's just say, spiritual community. And I'm just so honored to have a lot of people coming to that. So yeah, that was all I
Cool.
want to say. Yeah. So thank you.
You know, for someone asking, this is a replay on, you know, Facebook has replay, YouTube channels have replays, so absolutely you can always check out the show again. Lori, would you mind if we all asked a question like silently to ourselves? Can you pull like a one card answer that we could all benefit from? I mean, that is such the
Yes.
ultimate. I love it
Yes.
if
I love
everyone could
that.
ask a question that you have in your heart. Lori's going to pull one card that we will all be able to receive a message from. Okay. So please
Yes.
just ask that question in your heart. Just take that moment. And
Mm.
whenever you're ready, Lori, yeah.
Oh, I love this. That's such a great idea. So yeah, ask the question for yourself. And what I pulled, oh, this is so beautiful. I pulled the winding path question, or question, what am I saying? Card, and it says surrendering.
Oh
And
my
what I really want to say about this is what I'm getting, and I feel sort of the urge to channel just a little bit. And what I want to say is that, you know, we think, as I said earlier, I thought I wanted to do this, 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 and this in my life. And then all of a sudden, things didn't work out. But things didn't work out because they weren't supposed to. I learned later. And I really want to say that with a winding path, things are never a straight line. Whenever we decide that we want to do something, or we are questioning something in our lives, or we aren't sure about the path we're supposed to take, just go with courage. Go with surrender, which is what this card is about. It's about surrendering to whatever is for our and everybody else in our lives greatest, highest and greatest good, you know? And so with that, you're never going to go astray. You know, you're going to be doing the right thing for you. You know, and thank you, Jose, again, it says this amazing thing: surrender and trust the process of the universe. Absolutely. And I've got so much energy here right now. I'm dizzy, you know, because I can feel all of that. I can feel all of that love and all of that, that joy coming from all of you into my heart. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. That was really a beautiful reading for all of us. So yeah, surrender. Hi, Karen.
Good karma there. Good karma.
Yes.
And just to share with everyone that, you know, every choice we have, we make it from love, and we make it from compassion and kindness, and we surrender for the highest good to let love flow through us. And with that, we will thank our wonderful guest today, Lori Albert. Thank you so much. Namaste, Lori.
Linda.
We
Hi,
would
Linda.
love, yes. Everyone, thank you again for joining us. It's Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. We will see you back here next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time with medium Kelly Eckhart. But Lori, you know, we really are going to have you back soon, because this was a very meaningful conversation. Thank you.
Yes. And thank you, Cheryl. I mean, you have got, first of all, your soul is just so pure and so beautiful. And I thank you for that, because again, the world needs people like you. You know, the world needs that joy and that peace that you offer to the world. So thank you for all of your gifts and for giving all of us.
You're welcome, and namaste. Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you again. And thank you to all of our listeners. We hope you have a lovely 4th of July coming up. And yes, we'll see you again next Wednesday. Namaste, everyone. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.